Friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, I really am excited to do this video for you guys because this is something that has happened to me recently and has helped me to understand why we manifest unfavorable circumstances. So let's just say you're manifesting your SP and then you still keep getting the opposite, or if you're manifesting money and then you keep getting bills and you keep getting more money situations happening and you're manifesting for the abundance, but why do you manifest the opposite? So I'm going to share with you guys a quick story time that's happened to me recently, and then we're going to go into the reasons why. All right, so make sure you stay all the way to the end. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Share with someone who definitely may need this. All right, and I want to thank you guys because we are growing daily, and I am just so grateful that we are growing daily. All right, so you guys know I wrote some notes down so I won't forget, but this story time, you guys. So a few days ago, you guys know it was the first. We was paying our bills. We was doing what we had to do, right? And so I noticed, because last month was a short month, a lot of things were kind of off 1 week for me as far as getting paid from my other endeavors, right? And so I went on ahead and I had paid the majority of my bills that needed to be paid, right? But then I ended up getting a random bill, and I was just kind of like, it kind of like freaked me out a little bit. And one thing about me, you guys, is I am extremely independent. And if you didn't know, I don't know if I ever told you guys, but I'm a twin. So I have a twin sister, and me and her are extremely independent. So of course, one thing I'm going to do is call my sister, because that's just what we do. And so I called my sister and I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. And if you guys never knew, I have always been able to take care of myself. I've always been independent. And the one thing that I've been calling in for myself recently is community, because I feel like now that I'm becoming more of this consciously aware person, and the way that I move now has been from a more conscious perspective and not from a 3D perspective, I've been calling in more community, which is more community with you guys, more community with people who are on the same wavelength as me. And I've been wanting to become more aware of what I already have. And so of course, I've been calling in that. So my sister, she was like, well, I don't know, I don't think I can help you right now. She was like, but I just feel like we should call Dad. And I'm like, why would we call Dad? So my relationship with my dad, you guys, has not been the best, right? But there was always that little thing inside of me that I was like, well, I wonder how my relationship with my dad would be now that I'm in my 30s, and now that it's been years and years since we actually had a relationship, because my dad has had a past with addictions, right? And he has definitely grown out of that, and he's been thriving. He's gotten remarried. His life has been good, but our relationship, still there was some kind of standoffish energy there between us. And so I just never pushed for the relationship, because there was times when I was younger and I tried, but that's neither here nor there. And so I just never called my dad, like, you guys. But within me, I was like, I wonder now what our relationship would be like. And I didn't know that they had been working on their relationship. And she was like, well, let's just call Dad. Let's just see what's going on. And, let's see what's going on. And so I was like, okay. And so I let her do all the talking, because I'm just like nervous, because I haven't talked to my dad since last year, right? And so she calls him, and we're all doing our pleasantries, we're doing our pleasantries, and he's asking me how I've been. And, I've just been, telling him, oh, I'm good, I'm good. And if you guys didn't know, I'm the only one that's moved far away from my family. So I live in Texas and they all live in Florida. And so I'm wondering, like, okay, like, I don't feel as if I have anybody here or my family close enough to me. And so when I find myself emotionally going through things, or mentally or physically, or any kind of way, any kind of things that I'm going through, I realize that I'm like, okay, like, I feel as if I don't have my family next to me. So it just kind of has been a struggle for me to, go through that while I'm also calling in community, right? So she goes in, she asks my dad for the amount of money that I need. And she was like, well, I don't know, but I just feel like, you know, maybe you could help if you can. And I'm quiet because I've never known my dad to really help me out of anything, you guys, because I have had this story on repeat since when I was younger. There was this one story that was playing on repeat in my head every time I would be asked about my father. The only thing I can remember is when I was 19 and I ended up getting stranded on the side of the road in my old car, and my dad was the only one who picked up the phone. But when I told him I was stranded on the side of the road and I needed help, he told me he would come get me, but he was like 30 minutes away. And he told me he would come get me, and he never came to get me, you guys. Like, I was calling him and calling him. He cut his phone off. And even when, you know, my friend came and got me or whatnot, I still didn't hear from him for a long time, like months after that. I did not hear from him. So that was the story that I had on repeat. So in my mind, my dad doesn't show up for me. That's the story, right? So my sister asked him for the money, and of course he's like, totally different man. He's like, of course I'm going to help you. He was like, I love to be there for you. He was like, and I don't want you to think I'll never be there for you. I'm going to be there for you. I love you. If there's anything you need, I've been really wanting you to, you know, call me and talk to me. And he was like, I'm sorry for everything. He's just letting it all out. And your girl is stunned. Your girl is too stunned to speak, right? And so after that, you know, we all get off the phone and whatnot, and he ends up sending me like double like what I needed. And it was just very interesting because at that point, my dad, I just never known him to be like that. So when I tell you guys I was emotional, I was emotional. But then he actually told me that I do have family out here, that his wife's family, they live, you guys, not even 5 minutes away from me. And so I didn't realize that I actually do have family here. I do have community here, but because I was closed off to this new picture and this new version of myself and this new version of my father, I couldn't see that I had what I needed here, right? And so what this really comes around to, you guys, is why we tend to manifest unfavorable circumstances is because of, number one, our stories. And the thing is, with our stories, you guys, the awareness that this moment, that whatever you're going through right now, whatever it is, whether it's with your SP, your money, circumstances, trying to elevate yourself in some way, you have to realize that the moment that you have right now is the only moment. And not only is it the only moment, but this moment is perfect and your life is perfect as it is. And the failure to see that what you have right now, whatever you have in your reality, whether let's say you're manifesting a new home, but you're so tired of where you live now and you're just like, oh, I can't wait to get out of this place. I can't wait to get out of this place. You know, you're directing more energy into that circumstance because you're like, oh, I don't like where I am now. And then you end up manifesting more of the unfavorable circumstance because you're only focused on what you do not like. And then you're not appreciative of what you already have. Right? And so it makes it hard for you to see that where you are in this moment is perfect because there's infinite potential in any reality that you're in, any moment that you're in, to get you to where you need to be. Because we know people become instant millionaires. People get money like that. Like, people's circumstances change instantly in a moment. So you have to realize that where you are right now, the perception that you have, where you are right now is perfect, and you're not seeing that every state is actually perfect. Every state that you're in, every moment, every opportunity that you're in can bring you your manifestation, right? So if I would have been completely closed off, which at first I was, but then I allowed myself to just be like, okay, let me just give in, because you know where that stems from? That stems from pride, you guys. Pride. And as we know, as the Bible say, pride comes before the fall. So a lot of the times we are prideful over our situation, over our circumstance, because, you know, I couldn't be independent in that moment, right? But meanwhile, I'm calling in community. You see how that's a contradiction? And I'm calling in community and I'm secretly desiring a relationship with my father. I couldn't see that in that moment, at that time, it was a perfect circumstance for my father to finally come through for me, and a perfect circumstance for me to let that story go and to free myself from that story and to free my father from that story. Because if I'm looking at myself as the new version of me, I have to allow other people to be a new version of themselves, okay? So all in all, not only is the moment perfect, but the next thing, you guys, as to why we manifest unfavorable circumstances is because it allows us to see what we already have. That everything that you have, everything that you want is here right now. But you have to allow yourself to let go of that part of yourself that dislikes your circumstance, that dislikes the old story, that really is like, oh, I don't like this situation. I don't like that my SP is being like this to me. But you're hating that version of them or disliking that version of them. But meanwhile, you're calling in the version of them that is sweet to you. But you won't let them, you know, thrive in a new circumstance. You kind of won't let them off the hook. You won't let them be a new version of themselves. But that's because you're not letting yourself be the new version of yourself completely too. And so this is why I really feel like forgiveness is the overall reason why we keep manifesting unfavorable circumstances. The reason that I do feel this way is because I didn't realize that I was not allowing myself to completely forgive my situation, to completely forgive my circumstances, and to completely forgive my dad and allow him to be the version that I wanted him to be. Allow myself to open up to more community, you guys, and allow myself to see what is already there. All right. So it goes hand in hand. You not forgiving yourself, you not fully giving into the new version of yourself. I was not fully giving into the new version of myself because I still wanted to be independent in that moment, you guys. I hope this is making sense, because if you're still wanting parts of yourself to be the same and not allowing and letting it go and opening your hand, you receive more, okay? Because forgiveness shows you, when you free yourself, when you free everybody through forgiveness and let yourself be everything, then you see that you have everything. And I really want to get into a few quotes that really help me see this. And this is from A Course of Miracles. I have two quotes, and then I have a Neville Goddard quote, all right? So the first one from A Course in Miracles is, the only meaningful prayer is forgiveness, because those who have been forgiven have everything. Right? And it's mainly you forgiving yourself. You forgiving yourself for not seeing your whole situation as complete, as whole, as the fact that at this point, at this moment, anything can happen. That if you find yourself to be a new creature in this moment, then you have to allow everyone to play their part to conform to that, right? So if I didn't forgive myself in that moment, that I just allowed him to show up for me and I didn't back down and I was like, no, I don't need him to do this, this, and that, you know, I would never have saw myself completely. I now see more of what I'm calling in community. And I didn't even know that I had family here, you guys, because I was too stuck being independent. But meanwhile, I'm over here like, well, where's my community at? You know, you see how that happens? So you're saying like, oh, where's my SP at? But meanwhile, you're still thinking and holding on to what he said or what she said about you and this, and that. You're not allowing them to conform. You're not allowing the world around you to conform. So, and the other one is, the prayer for forgiveness is nothing more than a request that you may be able to recognize what you already have. And if you have everything in this moment, if your I am is everything in this moment, you guys, you have to allow yourself to experience it. You have to allow yourself to see everything in this moment. And you only do that by letting everyone and all the stories, all the things. That's why I'm on y'all ass about stories, because you see that one story that I had of my dad. that one story I was holding on to, but secretly desiring a relationship with him and secretly desiring more community, those were tied in together. That I had to see that I already had the community there. I already had it waiting for me. I just had to allow myself to stop being so independent, thinking that I had to do everything myself, right? And I saw that now I have everything that I've ever wanted. And it's been such a raw emotional time for me since that happened, you guys. And I find myself crying like every few hours. I have to keep tissue on hand because it really has opened my heart up. Like I even feel fuzzy again. Like I feel in love again. I don't know. It's just very like I feel expanded in a way because sometimes we don't realize that that story is the one thing holding the veil over our eyes, right? The story, the things that you hold on to, the words that you hold on to, the things that you have attached yourself to make it mean something about you or about someone else is what it means about you. And so I wasn't allowing it in. I wasn't allowing him in. I wasn't allowing community in. And ever since then, I've noticed my channel has been growing. I haven't done anything these past few days, you guys, because I've been just emotional. But even all the growth that I've experienced from then, and from one of my friends, she's coming to see me this summer. One of my childhood friends, she hit me up that same day that happened, and she was like, I think I'm gonna come to Texas for your birthday and we should go out. I'm gonna spend a week with you. And she's just telling me what she's gonna do. She's like, because I miss you and I love you, I haven't seen you. And so I didn't realize that my community was already there. I was holding on to my independence so strong that I was not allowing community in, you guys. And so the last quote from Neville Goddard is, do not waste one moment in regret, for to think feelingly of the mistakes of the past is to reinfect yourself. Let the dead bury the dead. And that is from scripture, Matthew 8:22. Turn from appearances and assume the feeling that would be yours were you already the one you wish to be. And so to me, that was so interesting that popped in my head too, because I kept reinfecting myself with that old story about like even just all the friends that I have kind of lost throughout my transition of me becoming more conscious. I still had stories attached to them, which was still keeping me reinfecting myself in that old story, you guys. So I really want you to see this. This is the reason why we manifest unfavorable circumstances, is because you won't forgive yourself. And forgiving yourself really is giving over fully into your ideal, fully over into your ideal reality, fully over into the new version of yourself, allowing, opening your hand, letting it just all be there, and rising yourself up, lifting yourself up in consciousness, and seeing everything from the higher point of view. This is what I talked about in that last video, is seeing everything from a higher up instead of adding stories to I am, stories to other people. When you see that, you can let yourself see everything for what it is, that it's all here right now. Right? But if you're so targeted in on a story that you have of your SP, a story that you have around your money, a story that you have on what you think you can do, what you can't have, community, friends, whatever this is for you, then you are reinfecting yourself in the past. And that's what keeps you in the past. Meanwhile, you're calling in one thing, but you're contradicting it by holding on. So just open up your hands and allow yourself to experience life, that it's all here right now, you guys. And it's been such a shift for me because, like I said, it's been such a heart awakening. Like I said, I feel more like how I felt a few years ago before like everything had happened with friends, partners, that sort of thing. I feel very much more lighthearted and I feel more vulnerable. I feel like more myself, and I feel like even I could share now on a deeper level because I know that I feel like one of the things that coaches and people on YouTube or whoever teaches things do, they tell you the techniques and they tell you things. But for me, I think it's important to tell you guys, not just through my personal experiences, because I've done all the techniques and I've manifested amazing physical things, partners, money, cars, dream jobs, careers, businesses, all those things. But it's the consciousness that I really want you guys to understand. That's the true gift here, the awareness, becoming more aware of who you are through your circumstances, through letting things go. You know, it's different when you hear it from someone in this way, and I really want to be more vulnerable and open and share with you guys in that way, because I do feel like it will go a longer ways than me just telling you only techniques, you guys, because this is very real. A lot of us don't realize we buy into those stories, and we buy into things from people, and we buy into all types of BS, you guys, that are holding us up from actually seeing that where we are in this moment is perfect. That every reality, I don't care how down bad you think you are, that reality is perfect. It's perfect and it's good, because you can get to where you want to be from that state if you just allow yourself to open up and allow yourself to see that from here only good can come from this. Oh, this is only letting me know what I think of myself and what I'm still holding on to. And once I just allow it all to be as it is and open my hand up and literally allow myself to give, to forgive myself, and to give into that new version of myself, I can allow myself to welcome in the things that are meant for me. All right. So I really want you guys to understand that this is why you're fighting against yourself. You're not allowing yourself to just fully give into that new version of yourself. And so I really want you guys to see this, and I hope that this really blessed you guys. Okay, so I don't want to ramble on, because you guys know I can ramble when I really get into it. But I want to thank you guys for watching all the way through. And I've been hearing you guys, someone emailed me that they wanted to have a phone session with me. And you guys, I don't really know about like coaching like that anymore, but I just want to have conversations with you guys. And I feel like the sessions could be more of a conversation, so that way it can be more or less of me directing you what to do, but directing you back to you, which I found has helped more people than me telling them the steps of actually how to manifest something. So I actually had a phone call with someone that for a while I was only offering email, and I think that that was a way to keep me from like welcoming more community in. But I do offer phone sessions right now for you guys. We have an hour, and then we have an hour and 30 minutes, and so I will go ahead and link it down in the description box below if that's something that you're interested in. No pressure. You still can get everything you need from this video or any of my videos. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you get down in the comments and let's chit chat, because like I said, I'm open to knowing more of you. So let's communicate with each other in that way. And yeah, you guys, so I just want to let you guys know that imagination is always on your side, and I am too. Bye.